quite sure my brother Charles want to answer that. That's why I alluded from that, not dealing with it, because the bottom line is if you don't read the scriptures and you're not indulging yourself in the scriptures, it'll be hard for you to understand. When you deal with the people in Puerto Rico, it's a parium, right? Means fruitful. The white man, if you deal with the European white man, and you know you deal with science and genetics, he doesn't have the ability or the capacity to be fruitful like our people. So that kills him even if he lived there. Don't make no damn sense. So when you deal with the Puerto Rican, so-called Puerto Rican man, he's a fruitful brother. Many children, they all pile up in the car, 720 of them, you understand? So you got to deal with a certain science understanding who's what and who's who. It's just like I heard people say that, well, you got people in Africa, you got people that live there, but they're not African, they just live there. If a Chinese man is here in America, that don't make him American. He's still naturally a Chinese man. You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand the science of what the scriptures is saying, of who fits what according to the tribes. So this is why when the brother said, you can't refute it if you understand who the tribes are. Like we did with the tribe of Zabalawan. Zabalawan will be the Panamanians. It deals with the Suez Canal, when it's separated. You understand? So it tells you exactly who they are and where they live. When you deal with Simeon and Levi, right? These are the Haitians and Dominicans. It says the instruments of cruelty shall be in their hand. That deals with the voodoo and the Santeria. Okay, so it just fits to a T. You can't cut it. You got to understand it if you know the scriptures. So when people outside of the scriptures try to refute that, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. That's like, you understand? Go ahead.
So are you saying that if a white guy dresses up in a hip-hop culture, that makes him a black man?
Not at all. What I'm saying is the opposite. That don't make him a goddamn
right. But what you're saying is you're judging Puerto Ricans based on the customs, because I'm saying that it doesn't make him a black man. So if you're saying that, then we're in agreement.
Right, we in agreement.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not saying that as far as the customs. I'm saying as far as the genetic process and where they at, and as far as how everything will be set up. Because when you read Genesis 49, when it speaks about the tribes, it tells you that's prophecy what will happen to them. You understand? Like a lot of people talk about they African. I'm African, I'm African, I'm African. Go to Africa. A lot of brothers you ask, where could you go in Africa? Where do you belong? There's over 50 plus countries in Africa. With those 50 plus countries, you got over 2,000 dialects. It's a fact. So who the hell are you? Now, if we were Africans and you speak about the greatness of Africa, the question got to be asked is this. Wait a minute. How come ain't nothing happening in Africa now? Where's everything happening at? In America, where the so-called Negroes and Hispanics at. Okay, everything is popping here. How come people ain't got no dashikis on? Okay, and doing the African, everybody wearing baseball caps in Africa, in China, in Japan, in Russia. They want to be like you. Why? Because you are the seed of Israel that the Most High speak about. We don't get that. Okay, we gotta get stuck out of Africa. Africans want to be you. Okay, we talk Africa, but ain't no brothers dashiking it down all day long. You understand? Ain't no brother putting no plates in a woman's lip. Ain't no brother cutting a woman's clitoris either. So we got to understand who the hell are we, man? I don't want to do that. Let me pass the mic. All right.
So are you saying that all Puerto Ricans from Puerto Rico are of the same lineage?
Not all. Every people in America ain't goddamn Americans. That's why I use the Chinese. All right. Now check this out. Based on what the brother just said, what brothers fail to realize, y'all think that Israelites are wind-up dolls. Just because somebody said, this is what it means, and this is what it is, and so everybody believed it based on what that man said. Y'all have to understand, we researching and reading too. If it don't make no sense, we can't follow it. You understand? You understand that? So it's like, we're not wind-up dolls. Whenever the brother, whatever, it came out, boom. That's why I gave the example, when you deal, it says that Simeon and Levi are brethren, right? Instruments of cruelty are in their hand. It's telling you who they are. Those are what? The Dominicans, right? And the Haitians. They're on the same island of Hispaniola. And you see that the one used voodoo and one used Santeria. So that has nothing to do with a man said, Most High said, the man says we following that man. We following based off facts. It's a tenet of fact, period. You see what I'm saying? So when you go through the other tribes, it lets you know. When it speaks about Judah, it says that a scepter shall not depart from his hand. That's speaking about the so-called Negro. Now, who everybody follow? The so-called Negro. The black man, period. You know what I'm saying? The tenets of fact. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people misconstrue that and think that we following man. No, we following the Most High and the Spirit of the Most High. Like Sarnetta, on the real, he got the spirit of a Hebrew Israelite now. And brothers told me that his father was a Dominican. That's what they said. Now, when you find that out, it would be from the tribe of Simeon. Now, look at the spirit that he got in him. You see what I'm saying? It goes further than that. I'm going to pass the mic, so it won't be long.
Again, what I'm saying again, as not just merely a pessimist or a cynical brother, I'm saying as a person who wants to understand. That's what I'm doing today. Today, I want to understand. That's the spirit I'm coming in. When we say his father's Dominican, so he, by default or by proxy, he must be a Hebrew Israelite because you are who your father is according to Hebrew Israelite doctrine. Who's to say that his father's father wasn't of someone outside the context of your 12 tribe chart? Then we may be making a false reference about who he is, because if his father wasn't of that 12 tribe context, how are we going to legitimize him? Now we're just using the geographical locale to identify someone genetically. So this it is flawed. It is flawed. It's something we want to believe, and I could appreciate if it's something that we intend to believe. But it's in this day and time, just because his father is identified, just because in this day and time, just because his father is identified as a Dominican, and then say we go to his father's father and realize he's not Dominican, then that puts us in a quandary all over again. And there's no way around that. We can't just make the assertion that just because we know who your father is immediately, that's exactly who you are, and just nullify everything that came prior. These are the problems that we're having when we are presented with this information. And again, this information has its inception in believing one amongst y'all got this information from the Lord. So again, it's going to put us back into the centrifuge of belief. And a person could believe and be 100% wrong.
Now, see, again, that puts your own thought process in a quandary or in a quagmire, simply because it is. When you look at Sar, right? I'm going to tell you, when you look at him, check him out, right? If his father was anything else but an Israelite, why is that not in his genetics, in his genetic makeup to act and dance and think or talk like a Watusi? Like an Egyptian or you name it. The same for you. Now I know y'all brothers go against that, but you got to understand when you see what energy and vibration is. The Most High works it to where all the pyramids, everything that was great that was done, and all this, I mean, you name it. Why is it that everything pops off here in America? Because those same people that were called Hebrew Israelites that was in captivity, okay, that knew the same knowledge that was in Egypt, so forth, in Sumer, Mesopotamia, that came on down, that's the same people. The children are here over here in the Americas. So when you understand that, you say, wait a minute, it has to be something. It has to be something that connects to that with common sense. Because everywhere you go, they look like you here. They don't look like nobody else. They don't look like nobody else across this globe. So you have to say, wait a minute, it's something special about us. And that's why Deuteronomy 7:6 tells us that we are special people unto the Most High. So you can't refute that. You can't tell me that you're anything else. And everybody that's into Egypt, y'all only into Egypt because of King Tut, to be honest with you. Because of all the gold. That's a fact. Hold on, King. Hold on, King. I'll prove it's true, Negro. Because that didn't happen in the God. Listen, hold on. In the 60s and whatever, 70s, after that came, in the museum, that's Egypt. Everybody went bananas over that. Now, when you understand this, to prove that that's a Hebrew Israelite zone, Hebrew Israelites were the only ones that bore the ears of their captives. King Tut got a hole in his ear. Now, that's not no goddamn African. That's a Hebrew Israelite. So, okay, when you go into and you deal with the beards, name one, the first king in Egypt, he wasn't called the Pharaoh, a king. Did he have a shaved face or what? Yes, he did. He had no beard. Where did y'all get the beard concept from? So when you go into the science, you find out exactly who the hell you are and who those pharaohs was, and you come down those dynasties. That's you, that's us. All right, shalom, shalom. Yo, y'all been shutting Inky down for a long time, man. Yeah. Listen. I'm gonna let these two brothers answer that part. But you know, I'm gonna keep this memory like an elephant. Because King over here said about the Limba tribe. See, when you brothers talk, y'all got to go deep into what the surface of what you talk about. The Limba tribe, and you sit y'all into DNA, they followed their DNA, and they said they from the tribe of Cohen. And Hebrew is Kahan, it's the priest. So that's the tribe of Levi. So that kills your argument there. Now, when you come back to the other tribe, the people, when you dig with the Igbo said that they're from the tribe of Judah and also the tribe of Cohen. So now you got half of them from Levi and half of them from the tribe of Judah. So that kills that argument there. So if you're going to deal with DNA, okay. Just like Hebrew Israelites came down from Egypt into West Africa and came across the border. You niggas gonna know that you Hebrew Israelites. Bottom line, because okay, but I ask this. Here's why I say this. Exactly. When you go check it out. Now, when your brothers talk about the map and where you talk about where Israel is, when you deal with cartography is map making. The so-called white man, every map you read and think about, he done did it because he was dealing with conquest. So now when you see what you call Africa today, it's not even Africa. It deals with the land, you said, where Jerusalem is at, all the way to what they call Asia and Asia Minor. These are names that the white man gave it, man. So when you deal realistically and through understanding, it comes down to, okay, this whole place here was called Africa. It goes back into King's argument when he said about Mexico. When you deal with Mexico, right? We know white man say, okay, you got Central America, South America, right? But he don't even deal with those people the same way as he do in America. And you deal with Mexico, he know you got to cross the border, but he don't consider it America, but it's a land of America. Hold on, brother. When you deal with Texas, California, Arizona, this was all once Mexico. So wait, hold on, King. Hold on, King. Hold on. So now if this was all, if this was all once Mexico, right? The white man, through cartography, he went and changed this shit around. And by him changing around and claiming lands, claiming names, and claiming this, you got to understand where it come from. So this is what we trying to tell you, kings. Y'all got to know the whole mass of it, not just a piece of it, and how you feel and how you coming from it. Because the thing I want to refute is this. You brothers saying, according to the shine, it don't make sense if you talking about where somebody is, somebody at. So then we ask you the opposite question. So prove that it isn't according to your thought process. You can't do that shit. You're going to come through some other, I'm going to give it to you because I want him to, but, all right, right, I'm going to give it back to him because I want them to answer their questions. And please forgive me for my French. You understand? I just get a little. No, I gotta say it because I just get, because a king and a priest of the Most High shouldn't talk like that. But when you get down with our people and you see the ignorance that they blind to certain things. But when it comes, listen, you brothers gotta understand. It's just like a woman. You deal with vegetables, but I'm gonna talk about chicken. It's just like a woman cooking chicken. They all cook it different ways. You understand? You can't say which way is the best until you realize this one is the spiciest. You understand? So when you deal with the Hebrew Israelites, y'all have not come up with nothing yet that could top what we do. There's not one thing yet. You understand? When you check out Marcus Garvey, who did he have in his movement? He had Hebrew Israelites that made his movement move. Okay? When you go before that, we can prove this. Listen, we can, well, hold on. That came later because before that you had the, listen, we could go all the way back, but I don't want to get off the topic, and I want everybody to talk their piece. But as far as, I want them to answer as far as with your question with there, but I just want to deal with that Limba thing and deal with the Igbo thing because they go right back to the 12 tribe sign because they tell you where they came from through DNA. Mr. Genetics, science, they came DNA. All right? All right, the bottom line is this. When brothers be listening to what's being said, you could tell it's based on, selective memory or what you want to keep in line to be said. Because we ain't talking about the people in Puerto Rico feeling good following practices. That was never said. It's certain prophecies and genetic traits that they do, things that they carry out. It said that Ephraim shall be a fruitful bow. The Spaniards is over there, they have to take fertility drugs to have the amount of children that the Puerto Ricans on the island have to have. So that cuts your whole thought process, King. That's number one. Number two, when y'all keep talking about, again, how we coming about the tribes, the bottom line, everything that we brought about, all y'all have to do is refute opposite of what we're bringing out about the tribes. Y'all have no refutation for that, period. So you... hold on, King. Hold on, King. Hold on.
Are you saying that y'all check fertility entering the temple?
No. Check this out, King.
Of course not.
Check. Listen. Hold on, King. I feel y'all. Yeah, I got it. Now let's stop the SpongeBob. Let's just get with this real deal. Now check this out. He just mentioned.
The SpongeBob is by you saying that they got to take fertility.
Check this out. I never said that.
Checking fertility.
Check this out. Check this out, King.
Y'all are not checking bloodline or genealogy or heritage.
King.
Welcoming anybody that puts something in the bucket into the group.
No.
Stop that. Come on.
Okay. Now that's all right. That's all right.
First of all, SpongeBob was a black man.
He was.
There's a lot of hits under the belt.
All right, check this out. No, I'm not doing nothing below. No.
Under the belt.
Listen, I ain't say you was SpongeBob.
Okay, but that doesn't go under the belt.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that,
I didn't say nothing about nobody.
I didn't say SpongeBob.
I didn't say nothing about wearing aluminum foil.
I didn't say SpongeBob. Wait, now see? Now see, I'm gonna show you something. Watch it. Now watch it. Check this out.
I didn't say nothing about nobody wearing tablecloths.
King, check this out. Okay, check this out, King. I'm gonna show you something.
Respect the speaker, man.
Check this out. This is how you know our people are sensitive, right? Now, what I said, listen, I know you're sensitive, because I wasn't even directing that towards you in general. I just so happened on my way to hear SpongeBob music, so I said, let's stop the SpongeBob. Just in general, it was just my head. I'm not talking about you. Now, this is how you know our people again. You know what I'm saying? This is like one of their mottos, no cowards. You know, we got our motto things. Brothers are too sensitive. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if this is an issue that you believe in, you got your point, you roll with your point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what I'm saying. When we out there in them streets, people talk about our mothers. People talk about wanting to fight, whatever. Brothers don't get bent out of shape. Brothers still just do their same role and they think. Go against the opposite. Y'all got to get a little stronger than what you coming with. Hold on, King. I wasn't directing that at you because that's not my style. I would turn around and say it to you. You see what I'm saying? So I just said, let's stop the SpongeBob, basically, because I heard the music, and I'm just saying that's just a silly-ass argument what y'all saying, because we just basing things according to prophecy and scripture. And then when you go about the genetic process of it, when I said in Spain, and now, first of all, brothers don't allow crackers to come in. Crackers, they can't even come in. They can't even deal. Most of y'all brothers deal with crackers more than we do. You see what I'm saying? Period. You know what I'm saying? Because you, is the white man the devil or the black man the devil? That's just deal with. Listen, check it out.
What does that mean?
But let me. But so now, when you just deal with that on that vibration alone, I mean, you deal with science, you deal with the genetics, and you know that the Spaniard and how he deals in Europe, he has to deal with a fertility drug more than the people on that island. And I see you got a lot of Hebrew in you because you got the tattoo on your hand with the Hebrew writing, and you got the shield on his hand. I observe everything. You see what I'm saying? And I also see you do the Hebrew yoga. Okay, so your argument should be leaning more toward the side of the understanding that we got, because you got a deeper side. I'm not recruiting. I'm just saying what it is. Just like it's like your science. Listen, I'm not recruiting. Just like you. Just like you got, I got you, King. I got you, King. Huh? That's simple. The spirit, that's fucking simple. The spirit bear witness, man. Ain't no goddamn cracker be talking about kill a goddamn white. Well, our people got to wear change and whatever they at. And white people do like this. Brother, let me tell you something, man. White people do it. And I'm going to tell you how you don't know. None of you brothers in here, because y'all ain't in the streets like we are, and y'all ain't on that battlefield like that. We had crackers go, you know what, you're right. That's so correct. Well, and they go, yeah, you know, I disagree with it. And once we say, and your ass going to be in chains too, because you part of, well, I'm not with, I don't understand. Right, they lose their mind. And they walk away. I'm telling you, when you understand this, for your thought process is weak in itself, because who your teacher is, that's number one. Number two, when you speak about Jesus, who they say is Isa in the Quran, it says Isa over in India about his burial, so forth and so on, and where he didn't come from, like the brother brought out, we the ones that's just carrying that vibration on to teach the word, so on and so forth. That still is refuted about where he's at and so forth and so on. You come from dealing with Abraham, you're a Hebrew. Leave it alone. You understand? You got to deal with the argument according to where it is. Like this King said over here, he don't deal with the sign, but he agreed to see where it comes from. Y'all too sensitive, man. Y'all brothers got to see on a certain level and say, okay, well, make sense to me. Brothers could turn to Genesis 49 real quick and show you, bang, bang. Dominicans, Haitians here, boom, on the island Hispaniola. You said that what? You part Haitian, right? Yep. You know, people in Dominican, they're on the same island, right? Yep. If you look at the prophecy in the book of Deuteronomy, right, and you go in Genesis, it tells you that they shall deal with instruments of cruelty. Do they deal with voodoo and Santeria? Yes or no? I'm just asking.
Are those the only two instruments of cruelty on the planet?
I'm just asking.
They are instruments of cruelty in the hands of everybody on this planet.
Listen, kings, y'all feel, I'm gonna give it to you. Y'all fail to realize one thing. See, y'all speaking from the aspect of looking outside of the scriptures. If you came from seeing what the scriptures was, you would see the correlation. It's simple. It's not complicated nor opinionated. It's just based on fact. So I see where y'all coming from. I could argue with y'all all day long from the inside perspective as you can from the outside perspective. But once you get into that paradigm, I understand, okay, I see what the scripture, I get it. Then you'll understand. Just like the Cubans, Puerto Ricans deal with Santeria as well. But when it says the instruments of cruelty, it spoke specifically about Simeon and Levi. So that specific understanding says, what instruments of cruelty do they have once there? And they also went and killed and slaughtered the people that raped their sister. So these are instruments of cruelty. So when you understand that perspective, you'll see it from that view. So right now, when we argue like that, that's like us arguing about why Polite put that Egyptian thing on his eye. You know, the Hebrew is like, I say, nigga, why you do that? You understand? But he said he did, and he'll tell me why he do it, and he'll give me a science based on what he understands. So for me to argue that makes no goddamn sense because I have no understanding of it. So the last point I'm just gonna make, I'm gonna shut down the passage. It's this thing right here as far as y'all talk about the Africans, Reggie, and I seen you too, and you too. Y'all talk about, so it's like, oh, here come that, why they beating up the Africans? Why they beating? Again, y'all don't understand the inside of the Bible. The Israelites get beat up more in the Bible than any other nation from the Most High. Okay, we get spanked more. Why? Because a father disciplines his child. You get out of order, get your ass on the corner. And that's what happened to us. So when y'all do that crybaby shit, is why the Africans getting beat down. Why they getting beat down? Read the Bible a little more. Ask a Hebrew who get beat down more. All right, here's some tissue. Read the book of Isaiah. When you read that book of Isaiah, remember, Isaiah was dealing with prophecy when he said the Egyptians are his people. Now, you'll hear some people that say, see, all people on this planet are the people of the Most High. You hear most people say that. But remember, before Isaiah, where was Israel? In captivity in Egypt, right? And you had Israelites that ruled in Egypt as pharaohs, as he spoke about Joseph, sleeping with Asenath, right? And having marrying, okay, and had lineage from that, and comes from the seed of man, right? So when you understand that, when he said the Egyptians also his people, because we was a selective people separating each other. So listen. That's like we understand that.
So God's
like
people are Africans.
What I'm giving you is this. Listen again. When we speak, I'm just saying in general, it's an outside-inside conversation trying to understand. So a lot of times you may hear things that don't sound right to you from the outside, and I respect that, and vice versa. So again, that was a prophecy that was given to Isaiah. Right? And when Isaiah was speaking about the people, we have to remember that Israel was in captivity under the Egyptians. And Israelites came from a lineage and line from Joseph all the way down through when they ruled as pharaohs. So when we said Egypt is my people, you have to understand, okay, is the Most High speaking about that lineage that's coming through Joseph's line as Israel? Or you can go with the dichotomy that people believe that, you know, Egyptians is his people too. Chinese people is his people too. Japanese. It's either way how you see it. But from my understanding perspective as an Israelite, I'm speaking from our line of people. You understand? Because when I'm out here in this world, I'm going to deal with our people here, period. And as far as that separation with the brothers and the Israelites, when you read the scriptures, that's why you got to read the scriptures. You had Pharisees, you had Sadducees, you had the Sanhedrin, right? You had the Essenes, you also had the Ebionites that's not documented in 66 books. These were different sects that went against each other, but at the same time, they knew who to worship. You see what I'm saying? So when we see the Lord over here, or how you get down, that's how you get down. We more can affiliate with ISUPK because that's how we get down. That's how we learned as Hebrews. But when it come down, we form like Voltron. When the thing came down, we was here. We was here to take your African heads off. You understand? And I mean, it's like that today too. Chop, chop.
Twins Squad.